everything right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is Nayeema and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. And today we have a very exciting video. First off, I cannot believe that it is June and we are halfway through the year. Like, that is actually insane to me. I feel like I turn around and it's Christmas, and then I turn around and it's summer. Like, it just, time has been flying by so fast recently, and I don't know what it is, and it really freaks me out. Maybe this is what getting older is like, and time doesn't move so slow, but I actually hate it. With how fast time is moving, it is time for so many like mid-year stuff. Mid-year freakout tag, which I'm planning to film pretty soon. And then last year I did this, I forgot who I saw who did this. Last year I basically told you guys all of like my 5-star reads of the year, like thus far, and you guys really liked that video, so I wanted to do it again. Here's the thing though, when I sat down and like counted the amount of 5-star reads I've had so far, it was 6 books, and I was like, wow, something's going on up here. I don't understand why I'm not enjoying books the way that I used to, and I feel like it's genuinely just because I read so much and I've read so many books that nothing, like, a lot of romance feels the same right now to me, and I wish I could just find like so many books that were just so different, but it all is feeling very lackluster. Obviously there's hidden gems, but all in all, when it's starting to blur together, that isn't good. And part of me feels like maybe I have to take a break from romance, but then part of me knows very well that that would not last long at all. And then another part of me is like, okay, well, so far this year I've read 39 books. So I'm like, maybe that's good that 6 of those were 5 stars. But then part of me is like, they should all be 5 stars. Hello. I mean, I'm taking the time to read it. So I think I need to be better at DNFing for the remainder of the year. And also just reading quality books that I genuinely feel like I'm gonna love. I know my reading taste by now, and it should be happening for me. So because I only saw 6 books there when I counted, I was like, okay, maybe I will also include 4.5 star reads. And I usually don't really like to do half ratings, but this year I've been doing it a lot. Like, a lot of books were 3.5, a lot of books are 4.5. So for 4.5 star reads this year, I have 5 books thus far. So in total, we're going to talk about my 6 5-star reads and then also my 4.5 star reads. And yeah, I'm excited to let you guys know what I've been loving, what are probably going to be my favorites of the year thus far. And without further ado, let's just get right into today's video. Alright, so should I start off with my 4.5 star reads or my 5-star reads? Alright, we're going to do 4.5 stars first. Just to give you guys a little bit of excitement. We can't give it all the good ones. They're obviously all good, but like, we can't give the superb ones before the not so superb ones. Alright, so the first book that I rated 4.5 stars, ew, that's gonna be annoying to say every time. The first book that I rated 4.5 stars was Savage Hearts by 𝓲𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪. This is book number 3 in her Mafia Queens and Monsters series that I absolutely am obsessed with. I really enjoyed this one. This series basically takes place in this mafia world, and then it kind of coincides with her other series, and I feel like at the end it's gonna be a big Marvel Cinematic Universe thing that I am gonna freak out about, because I love 𝓲𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪. This follows the heroine's sister from book 2. She is going away to spend time with her sister and her new fiance that we met in book 2. Basically, she finds out that her sister's getting married and that she has to go to the wedding, so she is booking her flights. She has no idea who this man is. They've never even met. At the same time, the hero from the second book, he has a new enemy. Basically, he killed this hero's brother, and now this hero wants revenge, and he thinks that the girl is like not being treated well by the hero from the second book, because all of a sudden she just shows up with her suitcases, and he feels like maybe she's like a mistress or something like that, and so he wants to help her, not knowing that he's about to marry her sister. And so he's helping her, trying to get out of this situation that he thinks that she's in. He starts stalking her too, and it's so good. It kind of has a little bit of captive in here, and I thought it was really good. 4.5 stars. It definitely was not my favorite 𝓲𝓸𝓬𝓬𝓲𝓪 book, but it was still very good. Okay, so the next book that I rated 4.5 stars was Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did by Monica Murphy. Valentine PR actually sent this to me, so thank you so much, Valentine PR. I loved this book. I liked it a lot more than A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, even though I did enjoy that. It's a bully romance that takes place at a boarding school. Our heroine is new to the school. She has enemies immediately because her mom is known as a homewrecker. Basically, her mom broke up the hero's parents' relationship. His dad was cheating on his mom with her mom, and so when she comes to the school, she has enemies right away. He bullies her, calls her all types of names, tells other people to bully her because he does kind of own the school. It's a romance between them. Okay, ignore how jacked up it looks. I need to stop laying my books down like that because they look crazy. If you can see all the tabs, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would enjoy it. Something about a bully romance is gonna hit every single time. So I rated it 4.5 stars. I'm excited to read the other book that is out in the series. Or maybe it's 2 more books that are out, but I definitely need to because I'm obsessed with this whole boarding school world that Monica Murphy has. The next book that I rated 4.5 stars was His Curvy Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells. This is her newest book in her series. I always forget the name of it, but it's her werewolf shifter series that I love so much, and I talk to you guys about it all the time. This one follows a curvy heroine, and she's a werewolf. She gets bullied for being curvy. It's kind of just not natural in the shifter world because they run so much and they are always outdoors and just super athletic. So because of this, she's always been bigger, and throughout her entire life she has been bullied because of it. Back in high school, she started hooking up with this guy, and he's pretty high up on the pack and she's down below. He keeps her a secret. They're messing around, they're fooling around in secret. When this book starts, they're still hooking up, and it's years after high school. Find out that they are mates, and he rejects her in front of everyone, and she kind of goes through this awakening, like, I'm not valued here. Everybody walks all over me. My mate just rejected me in front of everyone. I need to leave. Like, I'm not happy here. And so she goes on a quest to go to a new pack that we had seen kind of like start in another book in the series. And naturally he follows her, and he's like, that is not what I meant when I rejected you. I've always felt this way about you. It was just so good, and it really broke my heart because they treated her horribly throughout the entirety of that book. Like, it was so awful to read about sometimes. And like, sometimes I like a bully romance, but I only like it when the guy is being the bully. Like, I don't need the whole town and them bullying her. Like, please, one is enough. It really broke my heart. He didn't really bully her, but he also was a bystander, so there's that. But overall, the love story was amazing. The grovel was really great as well, and you guys know I don't love groveling because I'm kind of just like, you did what you did, stick with it. But no, he groveled and it was good, and he really like has a lot to apologize for. I mean, they've been hooking up for years, and he would break up with her whenever somebody kind of liked him. Like, he was just not good, and I just really loved watching her come into her own, and that's why I rated it 4.5 stars. The next book that I rated 4.5 stars is Liars Like Us by J.T. 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪, and I thought that this book would be 5 stars, but it was still pretty close. 4.5 stars is not bad at all in my eyes. Liars Like Us, this is J.T. 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪's newest release, and I really enjoyed it. It basically follows our heroine, and she is struggling. She has a bookstore that is about to get closed. The sales are very bad. There's a new rivaling bookstore that just opened up literally in the same shopping center as hers. She has no money. Her friends are all struggling. Apartment is shitty. Like, she is just going through it. But her bookstore that she has had in her family for many years is about to close down. Doesn't know what to do. So one night she's taking out her employees to dinner, and she's telling them the news that she has to close it down. And there is a guy who is overhearing this entire situation, proposes an idea that they get married as a marriage of convenience because he needs to marry somebody to like get his will. He would give her $2 million, and that would be enough to like obviously help with the store, help her friends, get her life on track. And she's very skeptical because, hello, this felt very realistic, I will say, because it took her time. She was doing pros and cons, she was reviewing it, and that just like doesn't happen in romance book. Ultimately, obviously, she agrees, and that's all I can really say about this book. I don't want to spoil it, even though I felt like it was pretty obvious the entire time what this big plot twist was, but there are certain aspects of the plot twist that really shook me to my core. The only reason why this book didn't get 5 stars for me was because it felt like things were missing. It felt kind of a little bit insta-lovey. I don't know, there was just something there that wasn't in J.T. 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓲's usual style, and it kind of like was just different. Not bad different, but different. And I don't know, I felt like I was kind of missing some things, but not in a total obvious way, you know? Like, there was context, but something was off. I think it was the pacing, maybe. I don't know. It just felt a little bit different for JT. I still really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I'm so excited to read the other books in the series. And the last book that I rated 4.5 stars so far in the year is In the Gray by B.B. Reed. I recently interviewed B.B. Reed on this channel. It is under the live tab, so after you read In the Gray, or if you're interested in reading In the Gray or knowing anything about B.B. Reed, you guys should definitely go check out my interview. I had such a good time chatting with her. In the Gray was really good and very different from B.B. Reed's usual stuff. This was a workplace romance. Both main characters are people of color. It was a small town. He's a blue-collar hero, which is very different. Like, I haven't really read many blue-collar, like, working-class heroes, which is actually really sad. Like, I feel like in a small town they usually are, but they're usually coupled with, like, billionaires for some reason. I really enjoyed this book. It was dark, it was so fun, it was so spicy, it definitely had its kinks, and there was also a little bit of a mystery going on within it as well. Basically, our heroine Atlas, she decides to move to this small town after her father passed away, and her mom is not doing well after the dad died, and she just feels like she needs to get away. And so she does, and she passed this auto shop and she sees a help wanted sign, and she decides to apply. This car shop where they fix cars, whatever, is owned by 4 guys, and her romance is with one of the owners named Rowdy, and Rowdy is very, like, temperamental. He's a Leo. It's just like fireworks he was a lot. And then our heroine's just new to town, but there is an instant connection between her and all 4 guys. It's not a why choose, it's just a romance between her and Rowdy, but it was very good, and I loved the mystery. My mouth was open the entire time. It shocked the hell out of me, and it was definitely different from BB's usual stuff, I think. So 4.5 stars, really enjoyed that. So that was the last book that I rated 4.5 stars, and now let's get into my 5-star reads. The books that I rated 5 stars were amazing, so I'm excited to talk to you guys about them. So my first 5-star read was also my first read of the year. So I started off the year very strong with The Lone Wolf's Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells. This was book number 3 in her werewolf shifter romance world, whatever, kind of like opposites attract. Our hero is very gruff and kind of mountain man-y, but he was a part of that pack, but he was just isolated because his wolf is very dangerous. Whenever he shifts, he does not have control over his wolf whatsoever, and he's very dangerous. And then our heroine is a super girly, frilly person who loves all the thrills and stuff, and so when she finds out that she's made it to him, he doesn't necessarily take it bad or good. He just is like, that's not happening, like, I'm too dangerous. And so it was really, I loved this book so much when I read it. Bear naturally was groveling with the series. It's so good. You find out why these guys are rejecting their mates, what they're doing to cope. I loved this heroine. She was such a bad bitch, but also she really wanted to focus on herself and self-love. She's also a hopeless romantic, and so when this guy rejected her, she's like, wow, I've got to change, something's got to be different. And I don't know, it was really interesting. There was a little bit of a kidnapping situation too. It was all in all just such an amazing book, and I had to rate it 5 stars. And then, no surprise to anyone, I swear this is going to be on everyone's favorites list. I read The Right Move by Liz Tomford, and this book naturally was a 5-star read. It was amazing. I've talked about it so much on this channel since I've read it. It follows our hero Ryan Shea, and he's in the NBA. It's a roommate romance with his sister's best friend. His sister's best friend, she moves in with him and they start fake dating. She needs a wedding date to make her boyfriend jealous, and her ex-boyfriend is the whole reason why she moved in with Ryan in the first place. And now they're gonna be in the same wedding party, and she really needs a date to make it happen. And he needs a fake girlfriend because he needs to look like he cares about other things besides basketball to become like captain or something of his basketball team. And so they help each other. Their friendship blossoms. At first they do not get along at all because Ryan is a very quiet guy. He likes his space, he likes his peace, and she is very messy and loud and fun and extroverted, and so that was kind of like just not meshing well. But when they become friends and when Ryan starts to show little things to show that he does care for her, I could cry just thinking about it. Like, he is a acts of service man, and it made me just so happy. Like, I swear nobody is like that, no guy is like that. It was so good, so beautiful, so thoughtful, and I just loved it. I loved it a lot more than Mile High. I think I rated that one 4 stars. This was simply amazing, and I just cannot recommend it enough. The next book that I rated 5 stars was Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I buddy read this back in either March or April with my friend back at school. She's getting into her Taylor Jenkins Reid era, starting to read more, and I was like, oh my gosh, let's buddy read Malibu Rising. This book broke me to a million pieces. I've never cried so much. I questioned myself, I questioned men, I questioned my reality when I read this. I can't even put it into words words how great this book was. Kind of follows two timelines. It follows Mick Riva, who we met in Daisy Jones, and then also Evelyn Hugo. Basically, we see him go through his first marriage with a lady named June. June falls absolutely in love with Mick, and they have children, and he makes her dreams come true. He wasn't famous when he started dating June. You see like the relationship kind of deteriorate as he becomes more like famous. And then you see on the opposite side another timeline, and it takes place in one day. It's basically their children are now grown up, and every summer Nina Riva, who's the oldest, she throws a party at her home, and by all we know is by the end of the night her house will be on fire, and we have no idea how it gets caught on fire, but we see like each of the siblings' lives and how it was impacted by Mick and June's relationship. Oh, I could cry just thinking about it. This is truly one of the best books I've read ever. I just loved June so much. And if you like to relate songs to books, 𝓿𝓸𝓸𝓬𝓲 by Lana Del Rey. It's this book. I kid you not. It is this book, and I'm gonna cry if I keep talking about it. Just know to read this. The hype is so real for this one, and it's so well deserved. I don't know. This is gonna be like a book that lives with me forever, I feel like. The next book that I rated 5 stars was Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. I really enjoyed this book when I read it. It was definitely something very different for me. I feel like I've never read anything like it before. This book also had a lot of hype surrounding it. This is kind of like a little bit of a taboo relationship. It's forbidden, and there are a bunch of trigger warnings in this book, so please look them up. But basically, our heroine and our hero have never ever gotten along ever. Our hero is actually engaged to our heroine's sister, and they've been dating since high school, and now they're engaged. These two have never gotten along ever. They like to play pranks on each other. They like fight with each other. It's just they don't get along, but it's kind of bantery and fun, get on each other's nerves. But at the end of the day, if you ask them like, do you like this person, they'll be like, hell no. So in the beginning of the book, the heroine's sister, and the fiance, they're out drinking at a bar, and then the couple goes home early, and our heroine is left at the bar. Someone steals her wallet, and so she has no way to like call a taxi. So she calls her future brother-in-law to come and pick her up, and while she's waiting for her brother-in-law to pick her up, a random guy who looks very sketchy starts talking to her and asking her questions and staring at her and making remarks, and she's so freaked out. And so when the brother-in-law comes to get her, this guy's like, hey, are you guys dating? And he's like, ew, no. And they hop in the car and they leave. Next thing you know, that crazy guy has pulled them over, broke into the car, and kidnapped the both of them, and they wake up chained to his basement. He has them do some despicable acts. He constantly sexually assaults her, R-words her, I don't like saying the word, and he has her future brother-in-law do the same. He was basically dubbed like the matchmaker. He takes two people who don't know each other or don't like each other, and he makes them fall in love in his basement, chained there. And when I tell you guys I went into this book so blind, I had no idea that was gonna happen in this book. Like, I picked it up kind of randomly. I had seen the hype, but I never really delved into what exactly it was about. Oh my gosh, it shocked me, and that's why I went into so much detail when telling you guys, because it shocked me. I was like, what am I reading? Like, I was genuinely scared, and I don't really get scared when I read like dark romances or just different romances. I don't. But this one really shocked me to my core. It was crazy. And then once they got out, they really like held on to each other, but they tried not to, because obviously he's engaged to her sister, but they're really the only two people who made it out of this situation. There were people before them, they all passed away, so they really only had each other to relate to. They're the only two people who understood what went down there, and it was really such a good book. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. Like I said, for the past couple of books, like the hype was very well deserved with this one, and I definitely want to pick up more Jennifer Hartman. This book had me like, I was shocked. It was so good. And then I read Right Man, Right Time, which I also feel like I've talked about a lot recently on this channel. I read this book and I fell in love with it. It was amazing. This is a hockey romance, fake dating. Guys, I think fake dating is just my favorite trope. I would say before like bully, like stalker, which I still love those tropes, but fake dating, when I look back at the books that I end up loving, they're usually fake dating. So this is a fake dating romance between a hockey player and then a senior in college. There's a 10-year age gap between them. He's fake dating her because his ex just started working for his hockey team, like a part of the marketing team or whatever. And then she is fake dating him really just to help him out. I don't think she had necessarily a reason. They initially met because she was trying to make her ex-boyfriend jealous because he showed up at this bar with her enemy, her work rival. And so to act like she was unbothered, she ran up to this random guy and kissed him, and he's like, hey, maybe we can help each other. And so whenever she needs him, he'll come and help her. Whenever he needs her, she'll come and help him. There's like, I've never read tension like what was in this book. It was, the tension was out of this world. I swear to you guys, I've never felt anything like it. Like, oh my gosh, it was just explosive. This heroine is definitely one of my favorite heroines ever. She played the game. You guys know I love a heroine that plays the game and tries to make you jealous and gets you to bend your will and give in to whatever she wants. She was that girl. I loved it. And also he was just so sweet and so careful, but like not in a super annoying way, if you know what I mean. Like some heroes I'm like, okay, like relax, just do it, like do whatever you need, do what you want to do. And like, I can't, no, this was so, like the way he was, it was genuine, and it was, and she's like, listen to me, like it's gonna be okay, I'm telling you to do this with me, or like experience this with me. And it was just amazing. Like I spent all night reading this book. I had my first day of work the next day. I had just come back from a concert. I was exhausted. My friend was sleeping over. I stayed up all night reading this book. The next day at work, I'm reading the book. I go grocery shopping the next day. I'm bumping into people with my cart while reading the book on my phone, and I'm like hunched over my cart reading it. Like for sure one of my favorite books of the year, 1000%. This book had like some type of drug laced in the pages. Could not recommend it enough. If you like sports romances, even if you don't, if you like fake dating, even if you don't, read this book. Like I don't care, please read this book. It was so good. And the last book that I rated 5 stars so far in 2023 was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. You guys would be living under a rock if you have not heard about this book or heard about the hype surrounding it. It is insane. I ordered a copy like 2 weeks ago. It's not coming until, I don't even know when it's coming. It has been sold out everywhere. Every Barnes & Noble, every Target, on Amazon. Everything is delayed. Like people are rallying the streets to get their hands on this book, and for good reason. This is like a fantasy romance, and I have not read like a fantasy book since A Court of Silver Flames. I can't, and I did not think I would like this book that much because it has something to do with dragons. Guys, it was so amazing, and I so see the hype for this one. Maybe I'm just basic and like what everybody else likes, but no, everyone that I've seen ever talk about this has absolutely loved it, and for amazing reason. We basically have our main character, her name is Violet, and in this world there are quadrants, kind of like Divergent, but not really at all. But basically, when you get a certain age, you get divided up into quadrants. There's like a healer quadrant, there is the rider quadrant, which are basically like the defense, like the military, the defense people, and then you have the scribe quadrant, which is kind of like the librarians, and there's one other one that I forgot. But basically Violet, her entire life, has thought she was going to become a scribe and she's been studying for the scribe. Her dad was a scribe. Her mom is a very famous writer, and so were her 2 siblings. They were both writers. She just thought she would follow in her dad's footsteps and be a scribe. Well, when it's almost time for her to, you know, choose a quadrant, her mom was like, scratch that, you're not gonna go into the scribe quadrant, you are gonna go and be a writer, and if you don't, I'm dragging you back there and you will be a writer. And she's like, well shit, I guess I'm a writer. And so she starts training, whatever, and the book starts with her going to the writer quadrant, and you have all these like trials and tribulations, and you have these tasks to complete, and you have like these challenges, and it's super hard, and people are dying left and right around her. And Violet is not like everyone else. She is very small, she's scrawny, she is short, and her body is not really built to be a rider. And they're called riders because they ride the dragons, and the dragons also, you know, like defend their kingdom, I guess. I don't know. Right away, her sister is giving her advice, and she's like, stay away from 𝓲𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪. 𝓲𝓸𝓬𝓬 is one of the sons of the people who rebelled against the kingdom, and her mom actually killed 𝓲𝓸𝓬𝓬's dad. And so her sister's like, stay away from him, he will probably try to kill you. So many people want to kill this girl. I was so proud of her that she just beat the odds every single time. She used her smarts. I can't even explain it. Basically, it's this badass girl figuring out her way through this rider quadrant with new friends and found family and people who want to kill her, and the best dragon in the world. I just can't. It was the best enemies to lover situation. You have the guy who's a childhood best friend who you cannot stand. He is like the Tamlin of this book. It was phenomenal and I cannot wait until November. This book is definitely going on my favorites list, but book number 2, hopefully it's as amazing as book number 1. There was a tiny bit of a cliffhanger and it had me just so shocked. It was, I can't talk about it enough. I can't explain why it's so good enough. People were trying to explain to me what it was about. I was like, huh, okay, I guess. But when I read it, I was in and I was sucked in. It's great. It's truly worth all the hype in the world. There's a reason why it's sold out everywhere, and my copy, I don't even know when it's, I hope I'm still home for the summer by the time it comes. Like, damn. Yeah, it's definitely worth the hype. Please read it. Oh, so good. And that was the last book that I had rated 5 stars so far in the year of 2023. Like I told you guys earlier, it is insane to me that we are in June and halfway through the year. Truly, I'm bewildered, honestly. But yeah, what have you guys rated 5 or 4.5 stars so far in the year? I want to know it all. Let me know your favorite books so far. I need it. I truly need it, because the fact that I've only rated 6 books 5 stars is scary, and something's going on, and I just need to read the best quality books. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. If you have made it to the end of this video, leave me a star emoji, because we're talking about stars. These books were all stars. They were 5 stars and 4.5 stars. So yeah, just leave me a star emoji. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very shortly with a new video. Bye.
If I got one thing right, it was you and me.